All right, guys, we got to get this one right. On three, we're going to say, welcome back to our extraordinary thoughts put on their mind. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to our mind.
And we back.
That'll work right there.
Yeah.
And we back. And we
Yeah.
back. And we back. And we
Y'all did y'all best. And that's all that matters.
Can
I just do string beans and corn?
Corn has no nutritional value.
I just started liking corn too.
Corn has nothing, none at all, nothing. It's just like corn is
It's just corn. It's just corn.
just to eat and shit.
So another thing that we're probably doing is and corn's about to be a big staple because like we doing a non-traditional for Christmas this year. Like so instead of like the regular feast, we're actually just gonna go ahead and do like a whole seafood bash. Like I'm talking about like shrimp, lobster, corn. I'm wondering if I can squeeze a macaroni and cheese in there because you know you gotta have the macaroni and cheese.
Damn.
You know.
Wow, man.
What you doing for the holidays?
Nothing. I think I'm gonna go with Montana because I was like, yo, I'm not doing shit. She asked me, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm gonna be here by myself with Romeo.
What's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcast with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. This time around, so to be honest with you, this has been something that we were supposed to be doing a long time ago. I can edit it out. This has been something that we've been trying to do for like a long time ago. I'm talking about a couple of months ago. Like we actually probably would have done this prior to the YouTube actually going out. But this woman that I got right here, fierce, intense, elegant, just a whole dynamic package. You ever like just grab like a piece of like gum? It's small, but it's got a lot of flavor in it. That's exactly who this is right there. Maybe small, but got a lot of flavor, got a lot of intensity. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna mess it up already again, and I know we don't went over it like.
Yeah, a couple times.
Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ari Novoa, and I'm really blessed to be able to do this podcast. We keep putting it off and on and off, but I'm glad we're making this happen today, and like 2 days before Christmas?
2 days.
2 days before Christmas?
Is it? Dang, it's really is 2 days before Christmas?
Yeah. What is it? Yep, 22.
Oh my
20,
God.
24th.
Man.
Making it happen.
Fun fact, so my daughter's birthday is like December 24th.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, double gifts.
She thinks she getting double gifts. It's actually
She's
like
getting
one
one.
gift. She getting one.
Only one for the whole thing.
I ain't even tried to like tell her yet. Like, yo, like you really getting played
You
every
should,
single
label
gift.
label the gift like, hey, Christmas, birthday, and put it in half. Boop, boop, boop to labels.
Like we bought a group of gifts like Christmas, birthday, like so she thinks she getting like a mix of gifts, but it's like just one whole package of just like gifts. But how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Great.
You don't got to look at the camera. You don't got to look at the camera. It's us. The camera just capturing
right?
us.
I'm just
Like, just put the camera away. Yeah.
with a straw,
Oh, man. Oh, I love you know what I wanted to do? And this is exactly, like, as I came on this, and, like, I didn't want to do it as, like, a talk show where we just look at the camera and we're talking to the camera. No, the camera captures our moment. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that, like, we got the coffee out. You feel me? You got the sweater. We comfortable. I brought the beanie out again, so, I see the vision. We got the mics. This is just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, this is actually the first time I get a chance to use these mics, so I've been excited about it. Like, I'm, like, super excited. But, once again, so how are you doing? How's everything?
I'm good. Just working hard, like always.
Oh, man, you by far one of the hardest working people I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you.
Like, it's like top 5, like, you're definitely up there. You feel me? Like, every time I see you, every time I talk to you, you always got, like, a business venture that you're about to go do, or you're about to go do that. It's always here and there.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I'm always trying to make some, like, different move, trying to make, I always tell people, like, hey, get the word broke out your mouth.
Absolutely.
Like, there is no way, we're 2019, about 2020, there's so many ways to make money.
Right.
Legally, there's so many ways to make money. And, like, even when I didn't have money or I was struggling, you didn't see me asking nobody for money.
Right.
I would never ask people for money. And it's not about, like, me, I have a huge ego or nothing, but, like, I could work another second job Saturday and Sunday, sacrifice my sleep or sacrifice this because I need to make more money and extra money for things that I was going through, like with my mother and stuff like that, like paying for
Absolutely.
her, you know, her bills for like medical bills for the stuff with cancer came up or whatnot. But you know,
Yeah, how's she doing with that?
Oh, she's good. She's really good now. Everything's better. Like she got a job as a manager for this hotel, like doing stuff like she's doing really good, really good. And I had to speak some motivational speaking into her because she was like depressed. Like she's like, I can't get a job and this and that. And I'm like, so how are you spending your off days?
Mm-hmm.
Or the days that you don't have to work? How are you spending them? Like, are you just laying in bed and just waiting for things to happen, waiting for the things to drop from the sky? Are you like walking around, going outside, talking to people, asking to people to have opportunities of job openings at their place?
Right.
Are you doing that, or are you just doing the other one? Are you doing A or are you doing B? She's like, oh, well, I'm doing A. I'm like, all right, then you need to figure it out.
Absolutely. You know, and two things with that is that first and foremost, your mother looks exactly like she could be your sister.
Yes, she does.
You know, like y'all, like you had put a picture up and I was like, I was like, dang, her sister came out or something like that. And then you say, that's my mom. And I'm like,
that's my mom.
what? You know, so, and then second, like that really comes into like life in general though. You know, like a lot of times, like we sit back and we say like, oh, woe is me. What can I do? Like this is going on. But what are you doing in those 24 hours? You know, matter of fact, what are you doing in an hour? You know, like you could capitalize on so much in those 24 hours. Like everybody always gets upset with somebody because it's like, oh, you know, you doing this, you doing that, you got this going on. Dog, we got the same 24 hours. We literally have the same 24 hours, but what are you doing with it?
It's true. It's true. And it's not easy. Like people say, oh, that's easy. It's not easy. You know, running a business is not easy, or having customers is not easy. Making sure your customers are good is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it requires time, effort, and work, and everything. And everything requires time, effort, and work. Even being a Marine requires some time, effort, and work. You know, the difference is that you have that set paycheck, the 1st and the 15th, but you can't just rely on that the whole time.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, they're scared, and I hear them talking like leadership, high leaders. You know, not gonna talk about names or whatnot, but like staff and CEOs and above that talk about how they're scared to get out. Like, how you scared to get out, but you want to leave me? Like that makes me upset. And I don't say anything when I hear those conversations. I don't say anything. I just sit back and listen, you know, analyze where they're coming from and why are they saying that. What's leading them to say things like that? But you're saying you're scared to get out because what?
You know, and that's one thing that I have been noticing a lot of since I went to TRS. Like it kind of like opened up my eyes with the whole idea with what are you doing afterwards? And that's a big issue that we're facing right now is that a lot of us doing 20 years and then we'll get to that bridge when we get there. 4 years, we're going to get to that bridge when you get there. So I'm really loving this whole veteran entrepreneur thing that's now starting to come to light because it's always been there. But now a lot more are starting to do that. Carve that path while you're still in. So that way you can actually go ahead and make something of yourself outside.
Mm-hmm. I really do love that. I love the new entrepreneurs that are coming up, especially active duty entrepreneurs. And I'm 100% support that. I think it's very important because honestly, at the end of the day, it's going to weed out who really wants to stay in because they love it or who just wants to do their 4 years or whatever and then decide to get out. So,
Absolutely.
You know, you could be an entrepreneur and then stay in. That's amazing because you already know you're making all this money, but you're really staying in because you want to take care of Marines. But at the end of the day, everybody has their different reasons why they want to get out. And I literally had a Marine here. He just graduated boot camp a couple months ago. And I was talking to him. I'm like, look, don't do your best and all this. And I told him, I'm like, if you do decide to get out after your 4 years, make that decision based on your choice.
Absolutely.
Based on what you want to do. Make sure you have something set up outside the Marine Corps. Don't make this choice because everybody else, and you hear all these people talking about like, screw this, I don't want to be part of this, or like you're gonna have bad experiences and good experiences. And I push a lot of people, hey, go to college. And even if you plan on, I'm gonna stay in 20, I don't need to go to college. I'm like,
yeah, that's
you
crazy
could get
talk.
a bachelor's degree in 20 years.
Yeah.
I literally told this to my friend. Literally, oh my God, literally told her this. And then she's like, I'm gonna stay in 20. And I'm like, all right, where'd this come from? You know, I was like, I didn't know this. And she was like, yeah, I made up my mind I'm gonna stay in 20 years, and I'm like, so what about school? She's like, man, she literally said fuck school, and I was just like, bro, chill, like, chill.
You know, and it's like, all right, so we're saying fuck school, but what else are you gonna do? Like, what else? Because in 20 years we're gonna be having this exact same conversation. Are you still gonna be saying fuck school? Are you gonna say fuck certifications? Are you gonna say fuck credentials?
I tell people, I'm like, when the end of the day, when you get out, because I went to TRS, and
Right.
it's like eye-opening. It's like they throw all this information at you, and they make you feel like you're homeless.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt.
Yeah, that's
I went
exactly
back
how I
and told
felt.
my Marines my experience at TRS. I'm like, I felt like I was gonna be homeless. Like that. I'm so serious. That ass. Like I was like, oh my god. Like, what am I gonna do with my life? And they were just throwing all this stuff at me, and I'm like,
Yo, I was sitting in there and I was looking at one of the guys, right? And like just listening to the questions that he asked, the answers that he would give when asked the question and stuff like that. I was just like, yo, like he's gonna be homeless. Like he gonna go to school and he gonna study hoboology. Like this is it for him. He better stay in. Like I almost told him to, like, yo, bro, like you better re-enlist because you don't got a plan yet. You gonna have a rough time.
yeah. And a lot of people think like getting out there, you're gonna get babysitted. Like it's not happening. Nobody's gonna be checking on you. Nobody's gonna be checking your room. And the main reason why field day is there is because you gotta check how the Marines are living.
Yeah.
How they living with their health or with their, you know, the living standards. Like, are they clean? Are they clean the clothes? And they clean themselves. Like, I had Marines. I'm about to hit 8 years, and like I know there's people that have been in longer than me, probably seen worse. But I've seen Marines who had a dead bird in their closet. Like, I'm like, why you got a dirt? Like, who you doing brujeria on? Like, type shit. Like, I'm so serious. And, like, dead bird in the closet. And they have all these weapons and all this stuff. Like,
Marine, what are you doing?
Yeah, like, bad things they're doing. And I'm like, this is the reason why we do field day. This is the reason why we do this health and comfort. This is the reason why we're checking on you. Because you're having all this stuff that you're not supposed to have. Like, and whenever you get out of the Marine Corps, you're not going to have this. And now you're gonna live like trash, live like that. Like, that's not what we want. So
Absolutely.
I always tell the Marines, I'm like, they don't like field day, but I'm like, this is the purpose of field day.
Absolutely.
You know, and there's the thing, like, when you get out, you're not gonna have your sergeant or your corporal checking on you and making sure you're good, making sure you brought this gear, making sure you did this for work for the next day. Like, I tell them, I'm like, once you get out and then you gotta show up to work and you need to have these tools or this stuff or even your equipment, like, for protection or whatnot. You don't have that, you're going to get fired.
Absolutely.
They have the OSHA standards, regulations, all that stuff. The safety officers outside. You don't have that? All right, write you up. Hey, man, you're fired. Figure
Boom.
it out.
That's it.
But people take the military for granted.
Yeah, because they can't get fired.
You can't get fired.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if people could get fired in the military, it'd be a whole different ballgame.
Oh my God.
I absolutely know this, and it wouldn't be just like from the lower leadership, but it'd be from the from the top to bottom.
Yeah.
From the top to bottom, and I feel like, to be honest, I feel like some type of regulation should be like that. Like, hey, if you're not cutting it, you know, you got to do this. But there is stuff to do, but it's
just a longer process, and it's a
longer
process that a lot of
and
people don't want to deal with.
Exactly, but it's like, a lot of people take for granted what the Marine Corps has done. And yeah, like, I'm really thankful, you know, everything I have, because the Marine Corps, the stuff that it taught me, leadership things, everything I've done, you know. But
because you're from you're from Colombia.
Yes.
What was that like when you get here?
I got here when I was 13 years old, and then yeah,
that's crazy, because you always hear stories like, you know, I got here when I was a baby. I got here when I was like, you know, 4 or 5. No, you were speaking and walking and like 6th grade, 7th grade.
Yes. So I had to do. I was really upset when I got here because I had to go to this international school to learn English.
Right.
I hated it, but honestly, at the end, I loved it, and I didn't want to leave. Like, I cried because they wanted to leave, like, make me go after 3 months, because they say, oh, you can speak English. I'm like, no, I can't.
Your English is really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So people say, like, oh, I learn fast and stuff like that. I was like, I was really trying. Like, I would, like, my favorite show ever was Between the Lions. Between the Lions. You should look it up. It's a show, and it teaches you English, pretty much.
Between the Lions?
Between the Lions. I loved that show. And what I used to do is I used to watch my stepdad. My stepdad is white. He's like my dad, pretty much. He raised me since I was 5 years old.
Okay.
He had bought these CDs for my little brother. No, for my little sister, because my little brother wasn't born yet. for my little
You're
sister
the
so she
oldest?
could learn. Yes, I'm
Okay.
the oldest. She was a baby, and then it was called Baby Can Learn, right? He had bought that for her, so I used to play him because I used to take care of her. I used to play for her, and I used to learn with that too. I'm like,
Really?
well, I'm learning too. So I used to watch those videos with her, and that's why they're so smart. Like my little sister, my little brother, they're super smart. They can read, write English, like Spanish. Like they're so smart. And I used to like play that with them all the time. And then I used to have a dictionary with me at all times. Like if I didn't know a word, I would look it up. Or like slang. Like I lived in Atlanta, Georgia. There's a lot of slang over there.
Oh yeah.
Like a lot of slang.
Yeah.
Like it's like New York, you know, you got all this slang. So I'm like, man, I don't even understand this. So whenever like somebody will text me or say something I didn't understand, I would write down that word and I would go home and I would look it up on the dictionary. And that's how I learned about urbandictionary.com. Yeah, so I'm like, wait, this doesn't sound like a real word. So I would go to urbandictionary.com. And that's where I started learning like different words.
What's the words that you had to learn?
Cuh, hey, what up, cuh?
Yeah.
What is another slang? Shouty.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that mean. I'm like, what's that? And then there's a lot. On top of my head, but mainly like cuh, what up, cuh? Shouty. Gonna. I'ma do this.
For real?
What's that? Like I didn't know what that
I'm
meant.
a gonna.
Like little
yeah.
how they shorten up words, so I had to learn all that. But it was like then I learned it, and then I was good. Like after like a while.
Yeah, that part. But you didn't know that word, like that part. Like have you heard that?
Which one?
That part.
That part?
Yeah, that part.
Is that a slang?
Yeah, that part.
Oh no, I don't.
Like yeah, that way.
Oh
Like,
wow.
that way, that
See,
part.
I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Like to this day, I'm still learning. And honestly, I feel like me knowing all these words mainly and like the English that I know now is because of school. Because I apply myself a lot in school and then college. Like
Absolutely.
going to college definitely helped me out. Like essays, writing, all those English classes, that helped me out a lot. To be honest.
Now, how old were you when you joined the military?
17.
Wait, so you got here when you were what,
Like
12, 13?
12, like 12, around there.
So essentially 5 years later, you joined the military.
So I was like,
English, just like English good.
Just it's good. I'm like, all right, I'll be fine. But I was at boot camp. I did not understand the drill instructors. I was like, what is this woman saying? I thought they were Russian. The accent, I thought they were Russian. I'm like, I don't understand. So I'll be like, look left, look right. What is everybody doing? Okay, I'm gonna do that, and I would just do it. And then I realized it was funny because when I was a recruit, I knew I wanted to be a drill instructor.
Right.
Like I was like, I want to do that. Like I want to make Marines. And I even asked one of the drill instructors, oh, why later on when I rated, talk to my drill instructors, why you wanted to be a drill instructor? Like, because I wanted to make Marines. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I want to do that.
That's crazy because that's what I when I was in boot camp was the first time I was exposed to a martial arts instructor. Like when I saw him, I was like, that's what I want to do. That right there. I don't know. Like, you remember when he came on and they say tracking? I didn't know what that word was. I thought he said dragon the entire time. And I was just like, just listening to the way that he came up there, his command presence, the techniques. I was just blown away. I was like, this is exactly what I'm going to be doing.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, what you want to do. And it's kind of like you envision yourself there and then you kind of paint this path towards what you want to do. And then later on, you're like, wow. Like I've always wanted to have a beautiful house or this stuff. Now I'm having all these things. Like I always wanted to do this, but it's all on you at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Like how you see yourself and what are the steps that you're doing to get towards that goal. And there's different ways to get to goals. Cause I've been seeing listen to like YouTube videos, motivational speakers. When I need motivation, I listen to other motivational speakers. When I need motivation, I'll go to your page too.
Appreciate it.
Like I'm serious. Serious. Like I'm like, man, let me
that.
listen to all my guys, Mitch. Let's see what's going on. Like because when you're a motivational speaker or when you speak to people, a piece of you goes with it.
Absolutely.
It takes away a piece of you. Your energy goes down. Yeah, things go down. Like it's crazy, but it's like when I give. Like there's been days that my energy's down.
Yeah.
Because I'm being like talking to people all day or helping people all day or doing this all day, my energy goes down and I feel drained. I feel tired. Like, I even gotten depressed, and I'm like, who gonna help me?
Mm-hmm. You know, and that's one thing that I've had to learn, especially because, you know, like the story before the podcast is always, you know, it's just a sad story because of depression, anxiety, and stuff of that nature. You know, you struggle with it. I've struggled with it before. And the hard part is that when you're the strong one, nobody else is asking if you're okay. You know, nobody's asking if you're good. And you can't even ask yourself that because you're so busy trying to help everyone else. It's almost like a distractor. I can't even focus on me because I have to deal with you. You know, and like, despite popular belief, I'm actually an introvert. You know, I do not like talking to people. I don't mind talking to people, but I don't like conversations with people. It just feels like my anxiety gets the best of me. Like, I want to get out of there sometimes. You know, so like, it's definitely, I understand exactly what you mean when you like, it takes a piece. It really does take a piece.
It does. And I've noticed it. I noticed it because honestly, like, people ask me how, you know, you started use social media and all this. Honestly, I was last year, September, August, I was about 3,000 followers on my page.
Right.
People say, oh, that's crazy. And now I'm like almost 25K. But I literally, like I always tell people, I just started being me.
And that's the hardest thing for a lot of people to be. You know, like, and it's crazy because you see it on social media. You see what I'm saying? Like, they see you, they see, you know, Coke, they see Austin, they see everybody on social media, and they're like, okay, so that's exactly what I'm supposed to be. But in reality, what they don't understand is that what you're doing is actually just being you. Y'all just so happen to have to look at us while we're doing that. You know, and I appreciate your transparency.
Yeah, I always tell people to stop trying to be like someone else.
Oh yeah.
Cause I noticed some of my followers trying to do things that I was doing, or trying to, like, in a way, it wasn't like, you know, it's good to look up to somebody, and it's good to, like, I look up to this person, I'm gonna start doing things that they do, cause, you know, but give credit where credit is due.
Absolutely.
Always give credit is due. Like, if I see something that I like, I'm like, you know what, like, this is awesome. This person inspired me to do that. This person, like, honestly, like, really, like, pushed me. Like, watching their videos, watching their transformation made me want to do it. But don't just take away credit for somebody else.
Absolutely.
Or don't copy somebody else. Be you. At the end of the day, like, if you're trying to be with somebody else, you just a copy. But so where's your personality? Where's your identity?
Where's your authenticity about
exactly.
it? You know, and that's crazy because every time I, like, you know, I've seen it. You know, I have seen it. And I've seen, like, you know, like, the way they speak and stuff like that. Like, especially when they, like, do a motivational video. You know, I appreciate good motivation when I hear it. But I can also hear in your voice the fakeness, that it's not real, that this is uncomfortable for you. And when it's uncomfortable for you, it actually makes me uncomfortable to listen to you. And I get it. You want to speak. You want to move the masses. I get it. But if that shit ain't real to you, it ain't going to be real, period. You know, but my biggest question is seeing you, and this has always just been a question just in the military, is that you're intense. Like, I remember you put that one video up of you in the drill field, like yo, like, I'm pretty sure people from back home was telling me about that video. You know, it's like, is that what y'all doing and stuff like that? I see this little, you know, like this little woman and stuff like that. And it's just like, there's such a big voice that comes out of you. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's such a big voice. Like, your presence, like, how tall are you?
4'11".
4'11
and a quarter.
I like how you made your voice deep when you said it.
4'11".
4'11". But you got a presence that's 6 feet tall. You see what I'm saying? And when you come out there, you can feel it. But my question is how do you balance your femininity? I just looked up the word femininity with that.
So with that, it's like, kind of like, you need to know what your environment is. Your environment. If my environment requires me to be like this type of person, or it's not like I'm changing my personality, but it's like, in a way, you need to learn how to manage yourself.
Absolutely.
Can I be Ari Novoa, like how I'm supposed to be here? No. Like, do I need to be more stern with this group of Marines? Yes. And it's like every group of Marines that I've had, because I've been in charge of a couple different shops. At one point, I had 40 Marines. That was my biggest shop.
Right.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
I was dead. It was me and a mass sergeant. I'll never forget. And I had, like, you know, like 40 of them. And then 12, I think like 12 or 10 of them were, like, like kind of like trouble, whatever, this and that going on.
Mm-hmm.
It was tough. That was tough. So I had to be like, I had to be a different type of leader, because every shop is gonna need a different type of leader.
Absolutely.
You can't expect to have everything work. Every single thing is not gonna work. Whatever you do is not gonna work for that group of Marines. It's not. It's just, I've realized it, and it's like I've been a different, like, Sergeant Novoa in every single shop.
Absolutely.
And yes, my value is still the same. My standard that I want is still the same, but how I approach the situation is different.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. Like, at my last shop, before the one in California, I was a certain way with the Marines. But then when I came here, I thought I could be that exact same way. But then I realized, like, these are different people, different personalities. You know, you got to switch the script a little bit.
Yes, exactly. And it's like, I could be feminine when I need to be.
Absolutely.
When I have to be. When I could show, like, my families that I have, I'm like, look, like, you could still do this. You could still have your nails done. Take care of yourself. Like, go this, buy your makeup, do stuff like that. But, you know, there's also a standard. Like, you can't just wear a bunch of makeup in uniform. You can't just have, like, more than 1/4 inch of your nails, like, this long. Like, and 1/4 inch is pretty long, actually, you know? So it's like, those are little things that I say. And it's like, how to manage that feminine side and the military appearance is, you need to know, like, what the standards are.
Absolutely.
And how you voice your opinion. Like, sometimes, I could be, like, if I'm talking to a group of Marines, and I got to be a certain way. Like, I have to have an authority voice. But also, like, if I want to, like, I'm not going to be be an authoritative type of leader all the time with my Marines. Like, there's times that I could, like, I tell them we joke around. We're cool.
Be able to balance that autocratic,
we balance that out.
Yeah.
We balance it. But I need, as a leader, you need to know when to pull back. Because Marines, I tell you, like, and you know this, Marines will take it. They will take advantage of you when they can.
Oh yes.
They will.
Oh yes.
They will. Like, I was like, don't take my
and I feel
kindness
like
for
that's
weakness.
people. I feel like that's just people in general. Like, people are, we're opportunists by nature. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's just how we survived this long. We seize the moment. And any time when there's a chance where we could seize the moment, we're going to take it. And I just dealt with this with my kids. I was just like, we laugh and we having a good time. I'm like, yo, like, y'all need to clean this mess up. One of them looked at me and said, Dad, I'm busy. The other one was like, yeah, don't worry about it, Dad. I'm like, okay, guys.
Who you talking to?
Clean this mess up. And they hit me back again. And I'm like, okay, so let me get this straight. You're busy and you told me not to worry about it. So let me rephrase that real quick. I'm about to be busy whooping y'all asses. And then I'm going to tell y'all not to worry about it. Clean this damn mess up. Y'all done lost y'all mind with me? And the same way, that's with Marines.
They're like, I always say, like, and like, I was talking to one of my Marines. I'm like, I don't have kids, but like, I've had kids in the Marine Corps.
Oh,
it's
my
literally
God, yeah.
like, they depend on you, and it's like the energy of the shop is gonna be dependent on you. And I've noticed it, because like, I have a really high energy, and I notice it. Like, when I go to a place, like, I can either boost up the energy or bring it down.
And I like the way that you said, like, energy, it does, like, the shop does depend on, your energy does dictate the flow of the shop. And a lot of times we deal with personal problems outside of the shop that affects our energy inside the shop. And everybody always says your personal life and your business life got to be separate. That's absolutely false. Because if my personal life is a mess, I come in and you going to feel it. You going to feel something is off about me. Like, I remember one time, my Marines, they could tell that there was something not going right at my house. They can tell by the way that I was responding to things. They could tell that my patience, I'm already notorious for short patience, but my patience was even shorter. And one of them pulled me off to the side. I was like, "Sorry, you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." And he looked at me like, "Nah, what's going on?" And I feel like definitely, like, especially like being in a relationship and anything of that nature, like, that does have a play on you.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that whatever has happened to you back home could affect your work. But also, like you said, it does affect you. But like, there's people that are good at masks, and I always say, some people are really, really good at covering stuff. And I could say, like, I'm not proud of it, but I could say that I'm really good at that. Like, I could have a whole disaster at home or a whole disaster going on, and I just come into work and I just work. I put in everything. My patience is really lower than usual, but like I'm still making it happen.
Right.
And then it's as unfortunate as it is. I've gone through so much stuff while being in the military, but none of my leaders have ever noticed it.
Really?
They never noticed it. They never asked me, "Oh, are you okay? What's going on?" Unless I decide to tell them, unless I decide to come forward and talk to them, because I'm like, all right, I need to, talk to medical. I need to make an appointment with a counselor, or I need to go to mental health, or I need to do this things going on. Now I have to.
Absolutely.
So the night before, I got to prepare myself, and I literally I go through a script. How I'm gonna talk to this person about this stuff without giving too much information, because I don't like that. Like that's me. I don't like that, and it's like I never felt comfortable enough to talk to my leaders about everything that's going on with me, and that's sad, because it's like
you should be able to talk.
Yeah,
to them.
you should be able to. You should be able to talk to your leaders about everything. I always tell my Marines, I'm like, hey, like I've been in, and even when I have like other sergeants or other people, I'm like, hey, I've been in for almost 8 years. This sergeant has been in for 6 years. Like 8 plus 6. All right, let me pull out my fingers. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bad at math. But 14 years of experience.
Right.
I was like, hey, we have 14 years of experience combined. Plus the other sergeant, that's 20. Like I was like, 22 years of experience combined in the Marine Corps. And I'm not saying I'm 22 years in the Marine Corps combined.
Absolutely.
I always tell that to my Marines. So if I don't know the answer, maybe he knows the answer, maybe she knows the answer, maybe we all can come together and help you out figure this answer together.
I love the transparency.
And then it's not like I don't have kids, he has kids, maybe he knows stuff about like kids, like maybe I know stuff about like finances. Like I always try to tell my Marines everything, like, hey, like if I can't help you, I'm gonna find someone else that can help you, or I'm gonna find someone else that's qualified,
Absolutely,
to help you out. But that's how like it's been like for me. Honestly, I still perform in like, for example, like when I was in Africa and Italy, my deployment, that was like one of the worst times of my life.
You was on a special active?
Yes.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah,
Where?
that same places.
Right.
Sigonella, Italy, and then Africa. Which one did you go to? Burundi?
Ghana.
Okay, we did the Burundi one.
Yeah, that was
God.
awesome. But no one knew what I was going on. No one knew that I was going through stuff. No one knew that I had like a lot of things, a lot of depression. Like I would drink every night. I was drunk. And I did one of those where, you get drunk and you got PT. I've done it.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I'm not proud of it. And I still visited PT. And I still got my 300 PFT. And I still got my 300 CFT. And I was still pushing whatever I needed to push. I still did this. I got a NAM. But then when I look at the picture of how I looked, like I was about 165 pounds. I was like chunkier, but I still was within standards, and I still got my 300 PFT and CFT because I was like, I still pushed myself,
right?
And I was going through stuff. Like I was depressed. I wasn't right, like on my head. But when I went to work, I focused on work, and that's the thing. Like there's people like that are workaholics. Like I could say I'm a workaholic because when I'm working, making stuff happen. But there are days that I'm like, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be here, and I don't want to do anything. And I'm just finding everything way possible to try to be off early, or every possible to like do something else. And it's like I'm like, man, I need a break from this.
Absolutely.
It's not easy though.
It's crazy because when you talk about that deployment, especially those two places, like that doesn't bring any good memories back to me as well. Like during that deployment, like that was one of the times where I actually had to make funeral arrangements for one of my kids. And I'm sitting there like my son he was just born. Watched him through a phone. You feel me? Right after that, 2 weeks later, he gets sick, and he gets so sick that they can't even figure out what's going on. I'm talking to my wife at the time, like what's going on? Like like we're damn near a day apart. So I would have to stay up late so I could talk to her in the morning. And, I'm making funeral arrangements because they don't know what's going on. The whole time, nobody's asking me anything. And all I would do is go out there and teach McMap. That's it. Kick McMap, and then come back in, kick McMap. And what's crazy about that is that I'm loud, I'm intense, I'm this presence out there. I turned the shower on so nobody could hear me cry in the bathroom because that's how depressed I was.
Exactly. And it's like you're wearing a mask. And I taught McMap out there too. I did like over 400 hours. I taught McMath for like 100 Marines, and I was just slaying them and slaying myself. And it was a way for me to like release the stress I was going through. But at the same time, I will go back and I would just like I will feel like crap. When I was by myself, I will feel depressed. I was drinking a lot and I was just depressed. Like I wasn't really happy. And I had like really good memories out there that I did and places that I went to and stuff like that. But at the same time, like I was going through stuff. But it's like no one really noticed.
I know exactly how you feel, you know, and it's hard, you know, especially like, you know, being like there was a time where I was in a relationship and like I'm going through the worst relationship of my life right now. Like I fucking hate this person. But then I got to go to work. I got to perform. I got to put up with this. I got to put up with that. And all that time, like so much stuff is going on inside of me, you know, and then I got to go back. I got to go argue. I got to go do this. And that's not clicking, you know, and like you staying up late, you figuring that out whole time. It's like as soon as it's like shaving your face, hurry up, put your mask on in front of everybody so that way nobody knows what's going on with you.
And it's hard because like I could give you an example. My shop where I had like my 40 Marines or whatnot, I had one of my Marines there. He committed suicide, right? While I was gone, because I was gone on a ship. But when I was there, everything was good. And I was the last person he talked to. I was on a ship and he was texting me, "Hey Sergeant, like I miss you a lot." Like I was like, "What's going on?" And I was just like, I was playing with him, you know, like he's like, "Oh, I need you to come back." I'm like, and I regret saying this, I'm not coming back. And I was just like, just kidding, whatever. You know, I was just playing with him. And I'm like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yes, we just miss you here at the shop and all this. Like, it's not the same without you." And I was just like, because exactly, they feed off my energy. And I'm like, what's going on in my shop? And I had a lot of Marines. And I'm like, what's going on in my shop? And so I was just like kind of worried. And I'm over here in the ship trying to get signal. And I was like, I was like, "You need to come back as soon as possible." And I was just like, what's going on? And then I told him, I'm like, I'm going to send a ghost out there for me, in behalf of me, like in case y'all need me, you know, I'll be there in like a week. And the last thing I told him was, I was like, "Hey, don't worry, I'll be back soon. Like, don't worry about it. I'll be back soon. So I'll see you guys. I miss all of you a lot too." And then that's the last message I sent him. A couple like hours later, I found out he hung himself in his room. And another one of my friends, like he was a different shop. He found him, and I was just like, I cried that whole day, and I felt like guilty about it because I wasn't there for my shop when they needed me. I was on a ship that I got put to, not voluntarily, but involuntarily they sent me there, and I was just like, I was upset because I'm like, I felt like if I would have been there, none of that would have happened.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people feel like that when it's like suicide and one of your Marines commits suicide, somebody you know commits suicide. It's like, if I would have been there, this would have happened. Or if I would have been there, that. And then I remember I was crying, and my Master Guns was there. He's like a great mentor, and he's been here for so long. He's going through a lot of stuff. He's like, it's not your fault. Like, you can't sit here and blame yourself.
Absolutely.
He made a choice. Like, it's not your fault. And I'm like, and I was like, look, Master Guns, it's just like when I was there, everything was good. Like, I was like good. Like, the shop was good. I was making him better. Like, yeah, he was going through a lot of stuff. Which like we had this class about like, you know, people, things that you need to look for. Literally, the things that we need to look for. He was going through stuff like that, and I noticed it, so I was bringing him into the shop, bring him in, and I was like, and now I'm here stuck in this shit, but I can't be there for my Marines. Like, I felt like crap. When I got back, I couldn't go to his funeral because I had to carry the shop in my back. So I couldn't go to his funeral, so I had to stay back. My Marines went to the funeral. So if they go, I can't just go because the Marines who are back, like, what's going to happen? And I got back, and I had to be tough. And I had to be tough. I have to be the strong one. And I didn't want to be the strong one. Like, I wanted to grieve, but I couldn't. Like, I couldn't grieve for my Marine because all my Marines were grieving. So it's like, how am I going to grieve? Like, somebody that they look up to, like a sergeant they look up to, like, how if I'm depressed, they're gonna be depressed. It's like damn, our sergeant don't even got us. Like, and I would try to bring them up. So I was giving them my energy, but I was taking away from me. Like, I was never able to be like grieve about it.
And just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoy making it. Follow me on Instagram at OMG It's Meech. Once again, that is OMG It's Meech. Meech is spelled MEECH. H. Stay tuned Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Don't forget to drop a comment or review on your favorite platform. Stop being great and be extraordinary.